Hippie Festivals, an update. That is going to be the topic of this episode of Chi Life. So I've just come back from another hippie festival. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll probably remember at least a couple, maybe a few of these vlogs that I've filmed at hippie festivals. A lot of people call them hippie festivals. I call them hippie festivals. Officially, that's not really their title. They generally go by things more like conscious festivals or maybe alternative festivals. I don't know. Things like that. I call them hippie festivals because it's kind of where lots of hippies go. And we have quite a few of these in New Zealand, but not many lately with all of the restrictions with the pandemic. And yeah, and this is actually really late in the year to have this festival because normally they hold the festivals in summer or into late summer sometimes because the weather is warm and more stable, and so it's easier to do outdoor events. But with all of the restrictions that we've had here in New Zealand, it wasn't possible for people to organise this type of festival. And so, as some of the restrictions have been raised, they decided to go ahead and do it. And so they've organised it at really short notice in a really short space of time, put it all together. So congratulations to them on that. A bit of a smaller festival, a bit more quiet, not as many people there as there normally would be, given the circumstances at time of year and being at such short notice. But yeah, they managed to put something together, and it was a lot of fun. I taught a Qigong workshop there. This is this is why I'm generally at these festivals. Again, you might recall that from other vlogs that I've made at festivals too. And it's funny because I did I think I put it in an email newsletter amongst other things that are happening with Long White Cloud Qigong. I put that I was teaching a workshop at this festival, and it was great actually. A couple of current and old students came out to the festival and saw me at my workshop, which was awesome. Great to catch up with a few people. That was really fun. And as well as that, someone was messaging me saying, "Hey, I guess you'll make another vlog at the festival." And I wasn't actually planning to make a vlog at the festival. But then I thought, I'm here. Why not? I will. So I did take a few videos, a few little shots of, things around the festival, sort of to give you the festival vibe. I didn't, because I only took these shots like right in the last hour or so of the festival. I didn't get any video of all the dancing and stuff that goes on, and the stuff that happens at night and all that sort of thing. Yeah, but at least a few shots so you can get a little bit of an idea of being at the festival. And so what's my update? I guess one update, because there is something relevant here. There's always going to be, well, maybe not always, but there's pretty much always going to be something relevant to Qigong in these vlogs. So one update is simply good on them for putting the event on. Even though it's been challenging at short notice, they went ahead and put it together, and it was good. I think sometimes it takes that mentality of when we've had challenges and issues, and maybe things are still challenging, to just go ahead and do it anyway. And that's what they did, and it turned out pretty good. I had a lot of fun. My workshop went well. People enjoyed that. So that was great. My other update is, I think, again, if you've watched the channel for a while, if you refer back to one of them, I talked a bit about aspects of these hippie festivals and the way that you get sometimes in terms of the different things that people present at the workshops, because there's always a whole range of different workshops on different topics. In terms of the things that people present, sometimes you get some things with real depth, real authenticity, and a high level of skill and knowledge presented. And then sometimes, well, always, you also get stuff which is really very much just been put together and sometimes hasn't been that well thought out, and often without a lot of depth of knowledge, but people are just kind of putting things together. And this is, in some ways, I think this is part of the hippie spirit, in a way, that willingness to just be creative, innovate, put things together, do what feels good, this sort of thing. And in general, I don't think that's a bad thing. In general, I think there's a lot of value in that. Now, it can lead to some issues sometimes if something's really poorly put together. In a short-term sort of thing, generally it's not. It's just part of the process of exploration, though. And you often see a lot of this exploration, people trying out new things. So not just individuals attending the festival trying out new things, but people presenting workshops, and it's some ideas that they've put together and they're presenting a workshop on it. And they're really just experimenting and putting things together. And sometimes in that, sometimes it's a bit of a shambles. Other times you can see the potential, but they're maybe missing little pieces of information, of understanding that, once they integrate those, it's going to help what it is they're presenting, working on, come together that much better. And so one of my updates from attending this particular Hippie Festival is that it was really good to see, actually, because I did dip into some of the other workshops that were on, and it was really good to see that some of them had clearly progressed what it was that they're doing. Because you see different people at these things, but you also often see a lot of the same people, same workshop presenters, same people attending the festivals as well. And some of them have, I've dipped into some of their workshops previously in other festivals, and it's like, they now have a better understanding of what they're doing. They've resolved some of those issues, and now it's working better, and they're presenting it better. And that's awesome. That's like really, really good. On the flip side of that, you still get someone that's like, they maybe haven't thought that all the way through yet. There's still a lot to iron out. But really cool to see people. It's like, they are improving. They are fleshing things out. They are refining. They are fine-tuning. And whatever practice it is that they're doing, it's getting better. It's going to give themselves and other people more benefit. And it's going to be easier for people to learn from them as well. And so that's like really awesome. So, I mean, that's a general observation. I guess a little bit of a tie-in with Qigong as well. And this actually ties in with something just very recently in one of the courses that's running currently. Because in some of the courses, these are the Long White Cloud Qigong courses. We've got some quite extensive Qigong courses that we run. And in some of the courses, there are parts within the course where I encourage people to be creative, to not just learn the practices and the theory behind them and all that sort of thing, but to actually innovate, to actually be creative, explore different movements, and then work to observe what it is that they're doing with their energy, and then fine-tune them to make them into a more effective movement to stimulate, balance their energy in a particular way. And that's actually something we've just been doing in the past week on one of those courses. And so this tied in, and this is a natural process. To begin with, some things like there'll be an idea, and some things might not quite work the way you want, or it's like, there's something there, but I'm not sure. But little by little over time, with more practice, these can be refined and developed, sometimes into something that's really, really useful as a Qigong practice. And I know some people have different points of view. There are some people out there who'll be like, sacrilege, the idea that you can come up with a new Qigong practice. All Qigong practices should be thousands of years old, which of course is ridiculous. Qigong, any practice, needs to be an evolving thing to be alive. It naturally needs to change and adapt to our needs. And part of this means, innovation and creation and so on. Now, to do that well, you need a good understanding of principles, of course. And within the Qigong courses, we do go into all of the underlying principles so people can understand that. And going through a process of choosing to be creative, actually consciously trying to be creative, is really useful for digging in and gaining a deeper understanding of other Qigong practices as well, because it gets you into the mindset of really thinking about the practice, as well as potentially maybe coming up with something new. That's not too much of a priority in terms of why we do that. Maybe occasionally, in that process, someone comes up with something like, that's really awesome, I'm going to refine that, and that can be something really useful. Mainly we do it just as a learning practice, to go through that mental process and to really dig into understanding, well, what actually goes in to a Qigong practice. But it is possible within that to actually come up with something that's really valuable, really useful, maybe for meeting a particular need, either for yourself or other people within their Qigong practice. But often it takes time. There's a starting point, just giving it a go and feeling that freedom to be able to give it a go, not worry about it too much, be a little bit of a hippie once in a while. Sometimes we can be too serious and we have to do it a certain way, only the way we've been told, only the way we've been shown, sort of thing. But be a hippie once in a while, and just try different things because it feels good. See what comes out of it, and then refine it. You can refine it into something useful. So, that's the tie into Qigong practice. But it was fun being at the festival. Great to meet a whole bunch of people who tried out some Qigong. Did some 12 Rivers Qigong there. And good to catch up with different people I haven't seen in a long time. A lot of fun. If you're interested in any of the in-depth Qigong training that we do at Long White Cloud Qigong, I'll put some kind of link below, in the description below, I think, so you can see the courses that we have coming up. We do have a couple coming up over the next couple of months, some quite comprehensive courses if you're interested in that. Of course, we've got some free courses as well. Maybe I'll put links for those as well to get you started on learning principles, and then if you really want to pursue it, getting into one of those comprehensive courses can be a good way to establish a really solid foundation. Anyway, so that's my vlog for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, share, all those good things, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.